All right. So this code works, but we could make it a little bit easier to understand. And we can add in a simple animation to make it look a little bit better. So let's call this animate squares on change. And first of all, we'll fade in. So let's add in a we'll call this fade in, is equal to skaction dot fade in with duration, and we'll make it 0.8 seconds, not quite 1 second, because 1 second is a bit too long. Then we're going to go to left square dot run action, and we're going to run fade in, and then we're going to go to right square dot run action is fade in. Okay. Now, in order for this to work, you have to set the alpha to 0. So what I'll do is I'll say left square dot alpha is equal to 0.0. So in order to fade in, you need to fade in from somewhere. So you need to set it to 0 in order to make it actually work. And what I'll do is I'll call animate squares on change. I'll call that at the beginning of randomize squares. So let's take a look at this here. And the reason why we're doing this is you can see that you know when it's different. You can see that you do know that there's an iteration there. Okay? And that's looking pretty good. And you can see does see that it changes here. Okay? Now you can use kind of different items here. For example, if we wanted to, we could add in a rotation as well. Okay, so we'll say let rotation is equal to skaction dot, and then we can do rotate by angle. We'll do, for example, 360, rotate 360 by 1 here, or we can actually just say that this is we could do something like 90 degrees. So it'll just kind of rotate in 1 second here. Okay. Now, if we're going to add that in here, what we can do is we could say and add in a sequence. So we'll say let sequence left is equal to skaction.sequence, and then we're going to do rotate or rotation and then fade in. Rotation, fade in. Okay, so we'll rotate and then we'll fade in. And then what we'll do is we could technically actually we don't even need to do a sequence left. We can just make it sequence here. And in this run action, we're going to go to skaction dot repeat action, and the action is going to be the sequence, and we're going to run it a total of 1 time here. So we do have to run it on each different square here. So let's take a look at that. So all it's going to do is it's going to just add in just a little bit of animation here. Okay, so that kind of looks cool. And yeah, it says tap the right square, and this actually looks kind of neat. Okay, using a non-standard angle works. The only problem is you can see that sometimes you know, it will cross. Okay, just like that. Okay, and there you go. And most of the time it doesn't work. So like we can make this back to 150, and that's the one we originally had here, and that way it most likely won't ever cross. So let's go ahead and let's add that in here, and there we go. You still need to tap the white square, and it just adds in a little bit of extra here, and there might be a little bit of crossover in between the two, but that doesn't necessarily matter as much because it's going to be so minimal. Okay, and there you go. All right, this concludes the tutorial.